The Missouri Soybean Merchandising Council has begun a podcast. This is the first one. I'm Tom Stever. I'll be hosting this podcast a couple of times each month. You'll be hearing from growers, experts, and Missouri soybean staff. This podcast is brought to you by Missouri soybean farmers and their checkoff, which we'll talk about on this edition. The soybean checkoff is what funds many of the activities that have as their goal strengthening demand for soybeans and soybean products. The CEO and Executive Director of the Missouri Soybean Association and the Missouri Soybean Merchandising Council is Gary Wheeler.
Tom, the soybean checkoff is at every point of sale. It's a 0.5% off the point of sale of a bushel, and that goes into specifically research, outreach, education, and marketing on a domestic and international level.
The thrust of the soybean checkoff goes beyond building demand. Missouri Soybean Merchandising Council Vice Chairman Mark Lenbauer, a farmer from Hannibal, Missouri, says funds are also used to build profitability through production research.
Funds from the checkoff sellback are strategically allocated to cutting-edge research and development projects aimed at improving soybean yields, pest resistance, and overall crop quality, ensuring the Missouri soybean farmer remains a leader in soybean production, not only within our country, but throughout the world.
Gary Wheeler points out that the outward-facing part of the soybean checkoff begins with its logo. That checkoff logo prominently features a check mark.
When the farmer sees the check mark in the Missouri Soybean Merchandising Council's logo, they can truly take pride in knowing that it symbolizes the thoughtful, considered investments that this board makes. And they take their job very seriously. Specifically for soybeans, it's a mark of assurance, reflecting a commitment to advancing the soybean industry through strategic investments.
Checkoff spending is farmer-driven and farmer-directed. Missouri Soybeans Director of Outreach and Education, Bailey Asbury, says that aspect is another sign of assurance of the checkoff decisions being made by the 13 farmer leaders on the checkoff board.
Those are representatives of those grower districts in those checkoff areas, and so having checkoff payers' peers being able to direct those funds. And then also we offer so many different opportunities throughout the year, whether that's through events or online forums, through the magazine. We want that feedback from the farmers to know that those 13 farmer leaders are fantastic, but sometimes, someone out in Saline County might have a different thought on ways we could better invest those dollars. And so making sure we're open and farmers can give us their thoughts and their feedback on how we can better spend those dollars is always so very appreciated.
Asbury, who has for almost 3 years been in charge of Missouri soybeans outreach and education, says those initiatives are a robust part of soybean farmers' communications with consumers and students.
Simply being able to meet with our farmers and being able to educate on the things we've invested in, but also some of that information that we've recently learned and being able to share that. But also goes to your elementary schools where we've got soybean-focused agricultural education in there. Some of our consumer-facing programs, whether that's in St. Louis, Kansas City, and of course by our Center for Soy Innovation in Jefferson City. There's so much outreach and education that happens within the center. And so being able to share all of that information with not only our farmers, because they are most important, but also those consumers, those purchasers, the elevators, of course, in our youth. It's very robust, and whether that's through events or simply one-on-one conversations, it's always happening.
And of course, checkoff dollars are used to build demand domestically and overseas. Checkoff Vice Chairman Mark Lenbauer has, as a farmer leader, seen it work firsthand, but still has a hard time adequately explaining its full impact.
This is one of the greatest things that the checkoff always talks about, but is super hard to understand until you actually delve into it. But MSMC leverages the checkoff funds to explore and develop new market opportunities, both domestically and internationally. We help the farmers achieve better prices and greater demand for their products. We want our customers to request Missouri soybeans. I've seen it firsthand from other places around the world, that they love our U.S. and Missouri soybeans.
We'll dive deeper into the Missouri Soybean Checkoff Sellback program in our next edition of the Missouri Soybean Spotlight podcast. We're available wherever you get your podcasts and brought to you by Missouri soybean farmers and their checkoff. Thank you for listening. I'm Tom Stever.